up, people? How you doing? Welcome back to the Brom Squad Gaming channel, and welcome back to episode number 2 of the Manchester United career mode. I'm recording this back to back, so I haven't had a chance to look at the first episode's comments because in this timeline, that episode's only coming out tomorrow. Anyways, we've got a massive, like I'm talking gargantuan, mammoth, huge Manchester derby, and currently we're undefeated in the season. So we are going to encourage these players and get them going and all that good stuff. Pep Guardiola is about to meet Brom Squad Gaming, and he's going to get his little head shined by yours truly. Bruno Fernandes, he completed 22 passes in the last game. If I remember correctly, we were quite good in that first episode, and more of it in the second episode. Please, we've got some big games in the second episode. After this press conference, I will definitely be showing you guys the episode that you guys are in for. As you can see right here, we've got City away. Tough game. We are going to obviously tactically switch up a bunch of stuff. Then we've got Brentford twice in this month, in the cup and then away in the league, which in real life, Man United just lost to them 3-1. And in between the two Brentford games, we've got Chelsea at home, which of course, Man United battered 2-1. Anyways, big episode. This will already tell me if the players are up for it or not, where we will probably be finishing in the league because it's a tough month. Can we win? I don't know. We're going to find out soon enough though. Alrighty, so City are going to be playing a 4-3-3, and that midfield, by the way, is looking very good. Reinders, Rodrigo, and Bernardo are all fantastic players. The backline, however, is probably the weakest point I can try and target, specifically the flanks. I'm not saying that Artinori is a bad defender, not at all, but he does get forward and he does get up the pitch, and he does leave spaces in behind him that I'm hoping one of them, Buemo or Cunha, depending on which side they're on, maybe they can try and exploit them. And the same can be said for Matthias Nunes on that right-hand side. Of course, Donnarumma between the sticks is going to be very tough to try and beat. And also that front line, I would have expected Foden to be starting, and he still might start. This is only a predicted lineup, but Haaland and Marmoush are going to be very tough to defend up against. The pace and behind, the pace or the ability to draw in multiple bodies around them and then lay off the passes, that's also a factor that we have to consider. And Oscar Bob, if he does start, he might be the odd man out. But in saying that, we also need to be very vigilant because he does have the quality to potentially punish us. Now, when you have a look at the tactical presets, they'll be using possession football, and of course that goes hand in hand with Pep Guardiola. Of course, not of late though. He's been playing Park the Bus football at the Emirates and all that stuff. But the key players that we need to watch out for on the defensive end are Gvardiol, Reinders, and Rodrigo, and the attacking players is basically the entire midfield. Tough game to go up against. First game of the episode as well, but like I said, this episode is going to tell us and going to dictate more or less where we will be finishing at the end of the season. If we win all of our games, that's absolutely insanity at its finest, and I am the GOAT, as you all know already. For the tactics, I am going to be making several changes. Kobbie Mainoo, I need you to be a bit more defensive with your approach. Casemiro as well, he's not going to be box to box, he's going to be a holding midfielder on defend. I think defend is better. He won't get stuck into many tackles. He'll look to hold his position a bit more. And as for the two centre backs, they are going to be set to defend as well. I'm not looking to play super defensive in this game, but I just need a bit more of positional awareness throughout the course of this game in order for us to not be cut open and killed by Erling Haaland and Marmoush. So that would be great. Both my fullbacks will be on versatile. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to make a change. Dorgu is going to come out for Dalot. I just trust Dalot just a little bit more than Dorgu when it comes to defending a potential Omar Marmoush running in behind, making those diagonal runs. But otherwise, all in all, in order for us to get that attack free flowing, I'm going to have both my wide players. Cunha is going to be a bit more attacking, but I want them driving forward, getting into those wider areas, trying to pull those fullbacks out of position, or maybe even trying to exploit those areas behind the fullbacks. I think that's a good idea. Of course, things can change. We will have to find out and see what happens, but I'm pretty happy with how things are looking right now. I'm pretty happy. I have a lot of confidence in my squad, and the boys, they're very fired up for this massive, monumental Manchester derby. Alrighty, City versus United. I like that it's played in the day, although the nighttime games, they just create that atmosphere. It's always better at night. However, I'm hoping we can batter this Blue Moon group and walk away with the 3 points. Of course, that would make us 12 points clear. No, not 12 points clear. That would give us 12 points and undoubtedly put us at the top of the table, which is a stark contrast to the actual reality of the situation, which is quite sad. But there's that little red strip in the crowd. We're going to run to that whenever we score a goal. Kobbie Mainoo, you can see he's fired up. He's locked in. I need him to be locked in because I know it's not necessarily him versus Rodri, but it effectively is, because Rodri's going to run his midfield and Kobbie is going to run our midfield. He's, like I mentioned in that first episode, he is the heartbeat, he is the soul. If he struggles, the entire system struggles with him. So I'm just lucky we have such a an amazing profile of Kobbie Mainoo in the team. Lamens is also going to have to pull off some massive saves because, of course, our defense has been very good. Apart from that Burnley game, our defense has been very good, but they can't be perfect. And of course, you have Marmoush, you have Haaland. They are elite attackers. So there will be a time where I need Lamens to step up. And of course, Phil Foden does start, by the way. Phil Foden does start. Bernardo Silva's on the bench and Kovacic also starts. I've just clocked that. So they've gone for a slight change in variation, just like us, to be fair. They would have had Dorgu starting on that left-hand side, but it's actually Dallo starting. And, of course, we've tweaked a few things. Maybe they could have tweaked a few things themselves, but that is our starting 11. I'm very confident in it. And up the fucking Reds. We're going to press. We're going to compress. Oh, my goodness me. Immediately, one long ball over the top. Please don't. Oh, my God. 2 minutes in. One ball straight over the top. That is what we're going to also be trying to do, but that is outrageously good. I think it was Rodrigo that played that ball over the top, and Doku put my entire backline in a bit of a spliff. There we go. Matthias Cunha up against Nunez. Cunha, he lays off a great ball into Bruno Fernandes, who looks to whip it to the back post area. And might I say, Aitonori was in position there, so maybe Pep has tweaked a few things from his usual tactical approach. But this fullback here needs to be very much locked in, because Jeremy Doku, he's a tricky winger. We do know that he is a very tricky winger. Aitonori, oh my days, Aitonori almost came away with the ball. Bruno has not had a very good opening 20 or so. But to be fair, I don't think anybody's really popped up with any magical moments. Oh, Lamens. That could, they're calling for a handball potentially outside of the box, but I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I think Lamens got there just in time. Casemiro is screaming in pain. I think he's pulled his calf muscle or something like that, and we're going to have to make a change early on in this game. And Kovacic, who's making incredible runs here, has found some space. Oh my gosh. Kovacic is causing us so many issues. Big block, massive block from Lenny Yoro, or was it Delict? I don't even know. Cunha. Ball over the top for Sesko. Oh, and there we go. We are going to have to make a change. Early doors, Casemiro, he tried to play a ball across. I think he pulled something in the process, and it looks like it's going to have to be Ugarte. But this is very worrying. If this is a long-term injury, by the way, we're going to have to be playing Mason Mount or Ahmad in those positions, which I don't mind playing Mason Mount, but I don't really know if we have the depth in this area to really be, messing around like that. But nonetheless, Ugarte is going to come in. I am going to have to tweak a few things, just because ball-winning midfielder needs to be one. And for this specific fullback down the right-hand side, Mazraoui, I'm setting him to defend because Doku has been absolutely bombing down that flank, and it's just going to change shape just ever so slightly. He's not going to get forward as much, but we do have Mbeumo, who has largely been isolated. I mean, Cunha's gotten on the ball a fair amount. Sesko has had a few decent touches, but Mbeumo has been very, very isolated. And of course, he's our big danger man if we're looking to try and, work something down the right-hand side. So hopefully that can change, but that's the changes that we are going to make, both tactically as well as player personnel-wise. You can never be too safe with your players. Of course, it's a long, grueling season. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Of course, Matheus Nunes has gotten forward, and it's opened up a lot of space for us to just counter-attack, get the ball into Cunha, and that's his second goal of his Man United career and, of course, of the season. And we've exploited them very, very nicely. But now it's time for Casemiro to come off, for Ugarte to come on. Those tactical tweaks have come into play already. It's been okay. But this is exactly what we were waiting for. This is exactly what I was talking about with that tactical breakdown and before the game even started in the beginning of this video. A great finish, great pass from, I can't even remember who it was. It could have been Sesko, I don't know. But that's left-hand side for us, right-hand side for the opposition was very much exposed. Hopefully Casemiro is not actually injured. That would just be heartbreaking. Oh, Erling Haaland, okay. Well, it's 1-1 just before halftime. Haaland squeezed him behind. He did some wild things, and he's absolutely leathered it past Lamens, so fair enough. Okay, so if we look at the halftime stats, 51% possession in favor of United, 3 shots to 6 for City, because they, in those first 20 or so minutes, they were really causing havoc. Of course, we made a few changes, and that did sort out the issue. We've got a few more passes compared to them. Their pass accuracy, however, has been a lot better than ours, but it's also 3 tackles each. So a very good, even 50-50 split. You could say it's 1-1 at the break. I can't really say City deserved to be in the lead. We did make a few errors, but I think we were quite good for our goal, and to be fair, City did have an absolute screamer of a goal themselves just before the break. So I can't really fault anybody from Pep Guardiola to Brom Squad Gaming. I think we're pretty much an even match. Got to focus in the second half though. Oh, great ball. Return ball. Great little bit of link-up play on the edge of the box from Cunha and Mbeumo. Mbeumo saw the little run Cunha made. Bang. And Doku's coming off. That is absolutely wild. Doku has probably been... Okay, yes, Haaland scored the goal, but Doku has been one of their best players. It's very odd. Very odd from Pep, but you know what? If Mamouche pops up with a goal... Sesko pops up with a goal, though. I wasn't expecting that at all, but Sesko pops up with a goal. But if Mamouche does pop up with a goal, it's a stroke of genius from Pep Guardiola. But we've got a massive 6'5" striker ourselves. It's not just Haaland on the pitch. It's also Sesko, who's popped up with a goal himself. He said, Haaland... You've scored. Now watch this. That was an absolutely outrageous leap. And to be fair, you would expect Donnarumma to do better there. His positioning, not as good. Going with the one hand to try and save that. He should always go with 2 hands, try and punch it away or at least push it away. But I'm not arguing. I'm not complaining. It's 2-1 to the red side of Manchester. Yet again, we take the lead. Can we hold on to it? I'm not too sure. But I am a little bit scared now. Into Sesko. Sesko, he's told Cunha to make that run. Cunha has ghosted in behind Matthias Nunez. Cunha, little ball roll into... Oh! 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 That was some flippin' amazing front 3 combination. And it's another sub for Pep. He's taken off Kovacic, the man who was really giving us a bit of grief in those opening few moments. And now Bernardo Silva, the City captain, is on the pitch. Can Bernardo Silva maybe impact the game like say a Bruno Fernandes? We'll have to see. Bruno has been very good in this game, very controlled with his approach. Win that, please. Well done, Ugarte. Ugarte with a specific role, I think, would be a very good player for us. But Ugarte, when he's expected to be prime Rodri, is a bit wild. Get into your shape. Well done, Lenny. Well done, Lenny. Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness me. Well done, Noose. Nusa Mazraoui. Impeccable timing with that defensive run and challenge there, because if he doesn't do that, we're very exposed. It's around the 73rd minute. I am going to be making a few changes, but nothing crazy, though. I would actually like to take off Kobe, but I'm going to leave him on, of course. Cunha's done very well, but Mount's going to come on and replace him. This will be the first game where Mount will be playing out wide on the wing, and Dorgu is also going to come on. Now, the question is, do I bring on Harry Maguire? Harry Maguire does have a bit of a skill issue when it comes to pace, and there is both Mamouche as well as Haaland. Okay, no, executive decision, we're not doing that. I'm not going to make any, you know what, I'm going to make one change. Of course, having Josh Zirkzee as the false 9 on attack. That is the only change I'm going to make. Dorgu can stay on the versatile fullback. Noose can stay as the defensive fullback. That's fine. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mbeumo. You know what? Actually, another change. Sorry, I'm waffling now. Another change. Build up for Mason Mount. Him and Bruno can combine. And hopefully we can see a bit more of an impact from Mount. Very much like how he was able to impact the game versus Burnley. There we go. Straight into Mbeumo. The pitch is very stretched at the moment. Josh Zirkzee, he starts it into Bruno. Bruno takes it around the goalkeeper, and it's 3-1. Bruno Fernandes' first goal of the season. I'm actually so impressed that he hasn't been that involved in actually putting the ball in the back of the net. That's always been a thing. Since Bruno's been at United, he's been hyper involved in majority of the goals that we score. But it's a good thing. I think it's a very good thing that we're not over-relying on him as the captain, as the leader, as everything. I think it's a very good thing. He's got a goal and an assist in this game, by the way. That's true captain's performance against a potential, I say this loosely, a potential title rival. Bravery, rewarded for being brave. Big ball into the box for him. Mbeumo, oh my goodness, he couldn't connect properly with it because there was a good bit of defensive pressure on him. And it's gone out for a corner kick. Okay. I am going to do a slight little variation and tweak here. We're going to Mason Mount. He's going to just open up the angle, put it to the back post area. Xerxes is offside, but you know what? It's fine. It's all right. Oh my goodness me, Josh Xerxes. Lovely ball. Mason Mount off the post. Oh, that was really good. That was really, really good. I don't know why Khrushchev's not playing. They could have used him today, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And that will be that. A 3-1 win. Obviously, in real life, it was a 3-0 win for City. In this timeline, in this moment, we've won 3-1. And I think that puts us on 12 points. Maybe 15 points. I don't know. We're going to have a look at the Premier League table. We're going to see who's who and where's where and how's how. But right now, Manchester Derby is... Well, Manchester is red, and the Manchester Derby has been won by the Red Devils. Beautiful scenes. A goal and an assist for our captain. He's done very, very well. And I do think that our game plan worked incredibly well, especially for that Cunha goal. Magnificent. Now it's on to Brentford. Okay, so the Premier League table as things stand, 4 games played, 4 wins, 13 goals scored and only 2 conceded. That is some pretty good going if you ask me. Now, next game in the Prem is versus Chelsea, but currently our next game is versus Brentford. I'm going to obviously rotate the team. I want to see how certain players can fit in, and also it's going to be a bit of a tester to see what Brentford can produce versus us. This is a game that I'm not taking lightly, but I'm not taking it as seriously as the Premier League. The Premier League is my main focus for this season, trying to do as well as possible, and right now, 4 from 4, it's looking peachy. Okay, so for Brentford in their lineup, in their last 5 games, they've drawn 1, won 1, and lost 2. This is their 5th game. Thiago, I'm watching you. I saw those 2 goals you scored versus Man United in real life. The first one was an absolute cracker. The second one was just Bayern being dumb. But Schade and Carvalho on the wings. Schade, of course, loads of pace, so we have to watch out for that. As for their tactical preset, of course, Keith Andrews, he's very much a counter-attacking man, but they are looking likely that they will be playing a kick-and-rush approach. I'm not too sure if this game's at Old Trafford or not, but the home crowd will definitely play a specific sort of advantage for the home team. So I hope it is at Old Trafford. It would be quite nice to get back there. The key defensive players are Collins and Vandenberg. Shocker, the 2 centre-backs, and the 2 key attackers are the 2 wide players. So we're going to have to make sure that we can defend those wide sections. I'm not exactly too worried just yet. I'll have to see how things plan out in the game. However, like I said, I'm going to try and see what they can throw at us, and hopefully that can prepare us correctly for the Premier League game versus them at the G-Tech Stadium. Okay, so I am going to be making a number of changes, to say the very least. A number of changes shall be made. I'm going to protect Casemiro in this game, although Ugarte not much better. I'm going to do that. Oh, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. I would rather play Bruno at the base of midfield than play Ugarte there, because I think Bruno can do that. I think Bruno can do a lot of roles. I also think a lot of people are severely underrating Bruno Fernandes when it comes to what he can and can't do, but it is what it is. I'm also going to play Dallo, and I'm also going to give Bayern his first start on the season. I'm going to rest Sesko fully, along with Matthijs de Ligt, and Diego Leon is going to come on to the bench with Luke Shaw shifting over to that left-sided centre-back option. I could even play the likes of Malacia, but I'm not going to, because why would I? So if we're winning by a few goals, we're going to give Obi a chance. If we're winning by 1 goal, Obi's not really going to get a chance, and I'm going to have to bring on Cunha and Mainu, and I don't really want to have Casemiro on the bench, so I'm going to put Malacia on the bench, just for the sake of it. But I'm looking forward to the return of this man right here, Lisandro Martinez. It would be great if he can come back and more or less not kick on from where he left off, because that would be crazy, but, you know, try and find his footing for the next few months, and then we'll go from there. Anyways, Heaven and Maguire, they're going to be key cogs to the success or demise of this. As for the tactics, now Xerxes, we're going to switch you to your favorite false 9 attack. We do need a bit more penetration in the box. Mounts, I'm happy with like that. And Buemo returns to his he does return to his side, his former side I should say, and Dallo is going to be a wing back on support. So we'll have both wing backs looking to invert, crowd out that middle area. I'm going to have Maguire on defend. I think Maguire needs to be the deepest, the deepest outfield player. Can't even speak right now, but he will be that player. And as for Ahmad, he's going to take up that number 10, zone 14 sort of role, and he's going to combine very nicely, I hope, with Mason Mount. Bruno, I need you to put on your best performance here, mate, please. Ugarte, I need you to cover for Bruno if he's ever caught out. And as for you, good sir, I'm going to switch you to attack so you can join Xerxes and be the penetrating force in behind if needed, because I swear, if I see that pass with Bruno Fernandes, you best believe I'm going to ping that ball over the top, and hopefully we can exploit a bit of a faulty backline for Brentford. Bruno plays a lovely ball into Josh Xerxes, who just calm as you like, finding the bottom of the corner. And that's his first goal in the competition. Of course, it's our first goal. It's our first game in the competition, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It is. Of course, this is the game where we got knocked out by Grimsby. But on this timeline, we're beating a Premier League side. Bruno Fernandes gets forward brilliantly, to be fair. Gives it to Xerxes. Xerxes does the rest, and it's tickets for the Brentford defense. If they're going to play like this at the G-Tech, you best believe I'm going to be licking my fingers. They're looking just to go along with it. Aiden Heaven up against Igor Thiago. You've got Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu, great recovery pace, by the way. Into Bayendier. Bayendier is just going to rotate the ball. Oh my god. Bayendier has given the ball away immediately to Sharda. Comes up with a save. Oh my god. Bayendier. You're following suit to the real life performances here, mate. Into Ahmad. Ahmad. Can he get his first goal of the season? Oh, that would have been great. Little 1-2 pass down around the edge of the box. Ahmad coming inside onto his dominant left foot. Just couldn't steer it into the back of the net. That would have been great, though. Maybe if he had put it across the face of goal, could have had an Mbeumo goal versus his former side. That would have been cool, too. 23 minutes gone by. It's still 1-0 to us. A very scary moment from the goalkeeper. Squares it. Bang! That was all created by Bruno Fernandes. Simple through ball. Ahmad running onto it perfectly. Then squares it into Josh Xerxes. And Xerxes gets a second on the day. Second of the competition. Lovely settings. And that's another assist for Ahmad. He's turning out to be quite a creative little factor for us in certain games. That's a lovely ball. Goalkeeper, he was hesitant. And that hesitation, it cost him. Because if he comes out, if he's confident with it, he gets to that ball probably before Ahmad. And, well, that goal doesn't get scored. So, you know, it's one of those. I love the fact that Ahmad got that assist. I love the fact that Xerxes got the goal. And I love the fact that we're beating Brentford 2-0. Xerxes plays in Ahmad. Can Ahmad get his first goal of the game? Of the career mode? Nope, he's hit the post. God damn it. Of the... that would have been great, though. But you can see Brentford players are really struggling in the rain here. As Mbeumo makes a great run. He chips it to the central area and just not enough on it. Plays it into Mason Mount. Mason Mount, what can he do here? Gets on the score sheet himself, maybe, and that is 3-0 before the break. In fact, guys, just because it is the Carabao Cup, I am going to simulate the rest of this game. It's 3-0. If we concede and lose this game, somehow, some way, I'll cry real tears. But Mason Mount scores a great goal there. Lovely little pass there from Ahmad. Is that another assist for Ahmad, you know? They're suggesting bringing Kobbie Mainoo on for Ugarte. If he comes on in the second half, that's fine. But like I say, I am going to simulate the rest of this game. Also, I wanted to say, I switched off the match restarts and stuff like that, so you guys can see here. I don't have any of that on. I can't, if I'm losing a game, I can't restart it. It is what it is. That's literally how I'm going to be playing this career mode. Not that I've ever done that in the past, but I'm just, you know, letting you guys know. Anyways, Simmons to the end. We win 4-1. Nelson scored a goal for them, and Mbeumo popped up and scored a goal against his former side. That is quite lovely. Cunha came on for Ugarte. Now I would imagine Cunha and Mount would have swapped. But yeah, anyways, 32% possession for Brentford, 68 for us. We absolutely battered them. And more of it, please. But now, we've rested a bunch of our players for the Chelsea game, which is very smart thinking if you ask me. Alrighty, Aiden Heaven is delighted that he got the opportunity. Yes, he did a great job. I was very impressed with some of his aerial challenges. The fact that he went up against a very strong physical Igor Thiago, and he did come out on top in a few of them. Not all of them, but he is still young. 70 overall, lots of development to still get through and do. But I do like the way that he does play this game. As for Malacia, are we going to talk about the contract situation? There's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. I'm actually not going to renew Malacia. Shame. He's going to be a free agent soon, and you can then go and play as much football with whichever side that's not named Manchester United. I actually should have done this a while ago. I'm going to dismiss the renewal That means obviously we will not be negotiating with him. He has put in a transfer request. Of course, that is a bit of a bug in the FC26 system that hopefully does get sorted out and patched soon enough. And I am also going to, I might not do the same for Harry Maguire, but I'm going to do the same for players like Casemiro. I have no intentions of re-signing these sort of players. That's completely fine. I'm willing to take on the abuse or whatever it is, but I just think that they're not a part of the future plans. They're competent players for the time being. Malacia not so much, but they are competent players for the time being. That's cool, that's great, that's amazing. Past the rest of the season, I don't see them as anything else apart from part of the Manchester United history. Anyways, onto the Chelsea tactics and the potential lineup that they might be deploying versus us at Old Trafford. João Pedro starting in the number 9 position with Cole Palmer just in behind him. We have to watch out for Palmer, but it does look like the entirety of the Chelsea midfield is something that we need to watch, focus, try and contain, try and control. Reece James is also looking like a defensive danger man that we also need to take care of and try and monitor, but I'm not too concerned about Reece James as of yet. Gittins, I know he's not marked as anything, but he's got loads of pace, and we need to be wary of that. Vigilant, watch out. Sanchez, I'm shooting from anywhere I have space to, because we know that he is a horrendous, probably the worst goalkeeper now that Onana is not in the Premier League. Sanchez is up there as one of the worst, at least as the number ones. I think he's terrible. As for the tactical preset, they've gone with a standard approach. Okay, defensive style. They're just going to be organized. The offensive style, they're also just going to be organized, nice and balanced with their approach. But Caicedo and James are the two key defensive players. That does make sense. Caicedo, the shin kicker, he's going to try and beat the brakes off of Bruno Fernandes and so on. But he doesn't understand that if that does start to happen, I'm going to put Ugarte on, and Ugarte will probably get a red card because he's going to snap Caicedo in half. Anyways, I joke, I make joke. Palmer, Neto, and Enzo. That is the key three in the attack, and they've won 3 of their last 5 games. 3 in a row to be more specific. So they do have some momentum heading into this game, but we've got a lot of momentum heading into this game, innit? The idea is to, play Casemiro, persist with him. I know he got injured versus City and had to come off in that first half, but he did get a bit of rest in between the City game and this game. He hasn't had any training issues or anything like that, which is quite good. As for the likes of Dorga, I'm going to leave him as is. Whereas for Mazraoui, I'm also going to have him as a support wing back. Again, inverting into the midfield, crowding those central spaces. As for Kobbie Mainoo, we're going to switch him to that defensive role. I need him in that defensive role. And as for Bruno, I need him in that attacking role. Cunha, going to move into that attack as well. And where I'm going to leave on the balanced focus. I just think that best suits him versus Reece James. I don't want him exerting too much pressure up the pitch. Is he up against Reece James? No, Cunha's up against Reece James. Okay, maybe I need to do that with Mbeumo and then put Cunha on balance, because I don't want Reece James getting the best of my players just yet. I don't want to give him too much confidence. So Cunha is going to be interchanging with Bruno and maybe draw Reece James in and then pop it in behind. That could be an option. Whereas down the right-hand side for us, the left-hand side for Chelsea, we're going to be looking to nail the attack. Of course, Mbeumo's the outlet ball. Sesko, however, is going to be the attacking support as well. I want Sesko running in behind, challenging the centre-backs, whichever centre-backs they deploy. They're all rubbish, to be fair, apart from Hato. I think Hato is the one pure quality centre-back that they actually do have. Levi Colwill, potentially, but I don't know if he's fit in playing. I want Sesko and Mbeumo ripping the stuffing out of that Chelsea backline, any opportunities that they do get. As for the defence, I'm not going to do too much with it. I'm very confident heading into this game because why? We've won 4 games in a row. We've recently just beat Man City 3-1, and life is really good right now, especially in this timeline for a Man United fan. It's going to be a very different game compared to what we saw IRL. There's no rain for starters, so Sanchez won't be making any bonehead maneuvers. But immediately Cucurella is looking to get down that side, which is great for us because we want to encourage him getting forward, because Mbeumo is going to stay high as he is doing so right now. And we're going to be able to hopefully exploit Cucurella as best as possible. Mota, but he can't because we've won the ball back yet again. And Mbeumo, he's in behind. He's whipped the ball in. Sesko's there. Sesko would have put that one in the back of the net. It would have been great. I love the little Chelsea corner. It's cute. We're forcing him to go long here. Lenny Yoro, he's there. He's won it back perfectly. Kobbie, he's telling Mbeumo to make that run. Mbeumo's made that run. Kobbie slid him in. And who's there at the scene of another crime? Sanchez. Casemiro, I don't know. Casemiro is playing like flipping Mbuemo right now. He's making those box runs. He's getting into those attacking areas. I do think that he is Mbuemo when I'm running with him. And then it turns out to be Casemiro. But nonetheless, Kobbie Mainoo collects an assist. Casemiro scores his first goal on the season. And Sanchez looks like a clown between the posts. It seems like a perfect day to be a Manc. Honestly. Chelsea backline falling asleep. Cucurella not in the correct position. This is exactly why I wanted Mbuemo down that right-hand side. But it does seem like it's Casemiro down that right-hand side. And I'm not going to complain because a goal is a goal and I will take that all day long. Slides in for Cunha. Cunha makes it 2. 28 minutes gone by. Chelsea have not been able to get out of their own half. Cunha with his 3rd goal on the season. And again, our front line is firing on all cylinders, people. It's lovely settings. I love it. We're pressurizing them so high up the field that they have to go long every time, and we're just there to win back possession. Dorgu up the pitch, looking for that ball over the top to Sesko. It's a looping header, and Sanchez looking like a clown between the sticks yet again. 3-0 inside 38 minutes. 6th goal of the season for Sesko. 2nd goal of the episode for Sesko, and it's looking peachy right now. I'm going to continue to play this game because who doesn't enjoy a Chelsea beatdown? And it's a great, it's a brilliant, it's a superb Dorgu assist, by the way. That's a leap and a half. Look at Levi Cole. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, man, hold that L. Baby! Oh no. Okay, well, Stella Lamens with an absolute calamity save. Chelsea worked that completely out of nothing. Lenny Yoro gives the ball away, high up the pitch, and João Pedro goes inside, and it's one of those situations where you expect the goalkeeper to do a bit better there. It's a great out of nothing attempt, but that does give Chelsea just a little bit of leeway in this game. A little bit of leeway. I mean, we have a lot of leeway right now, but it does give them a firm stepping stone to maybe try and climb their way back out of this 3-0 hole that they find themselves in the first half. So not good enough, boys. We have to keep control of possession here. We got a bit too confident. That's what overconfidence does to one. So looking at the stats at halftime, I'm oddly surprised by the fact that Chelsea have had slightly more of the ball than us. I do think that after we had scored our 3rd goal, we did slack off for quite a bit, and that allowed them to score their goal. But they also had a bit more possession to close out the half. So something that we'll have to work on going into the second half. We've made no tackles, by the way. I don't know how that really works. I don't know what they classify as a tackle versus what's not a tackle, but we've made no tackles apparently. Our pass accuracy is at 91%, theirs is at 93%, and they've attempted they've attempted 2 more passes than us. So it's not too bad. 3-1 up at the break. I'm not going to make any changes or any subs at half time. I think things are good. However, I do expect a bit more from the boys, a bit more control, and maybe we can find ourselves scoring another 2, 3, 4 goals. If we beat Chelsea 7-1, Brazil settings, it would be great. Oh, great ball from Casemiro. Oh my god, what a last-ditch tackle there. Okay, so I am going to make a few changes. It's around the 60th minute or so. Casemiro, he's looking dead on his feet. I am bringing on Mason Mount and Amad Diallo. Amad's going to play on the right for Mbuemo, which is... he's been fairly good to say the least. Diallo's coming on for Mazraoui, and I am going to bring on Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw. Okay, big calls, big calls. Some say we should bring on Xerxes, but I'm not going to do that just yet. However, I am going to make a few changes. Mason Mount, I'm going to keep him as I'm going to play him as a playmaker on roaming, just like with Bruno. We'll also now switch to a roaming role. Luke Shaw is going to switch to a fullback on defense. And as for Diego Dalot, I want him pushing high up the pitch on attack. We're going for it now. Amad is going to play as a wide playmaker on build-up, just like with Cunha. And we're going to see a bit of an overload down the side, and then we're going to see Mason Mount also charging in. As for the likes of De Ligt, I'm going to switch him to defensive. You know what? I'm going to switch De Ligt and Maguire. Have Maguire on defensive, looking to back up Shaw. De Ligt will be the slightly more adventurous centre-back of the two. And Kobbie Mainoo is going to switch to a build-up focus. So we've made a few changes. Sesko's going to stay on attack. I still want him penetrating him behind, making those expansive runs as best as possible. But it's a bit more attacking now. And I do want to try and see if we can maybe get a foothold in the second half. It's been very wishy-washy Chelsea get the ball, they try and attack, we win the ball back, we try and attack. It's been too much of that. I'm looking to have sustained pressure now and really assert ourselves in the second half. Am I looking for that? Too much power on that. Far too much power on that. That's outrageously too powerful. And Neto's going to look to try and run away here. And if they can score another goal, it's going to set up a very, very tense ending to this game. Neto, he's gotten past Bruno. Of course, Bruno's not the best of defenders, as we all know. Luke Shaw is not the best of defenders either, but I've had to swap him out because both my fullbacks were looking somewhat tired. Although Luke Shaw gets there, and we can now look to build from the. Oh my god, that was very scary. Cunha whips in a great ball. Sesko's won the ball back. Not the greatest. Not the greatest. There we go. There we go. Well tackled there from Luke Shaw. Well, it's been a very boring and drab second half. No real goals, anything to really comment on. No, fancy attacks from Chelsea or United, to be fair. And we see ourselves to a 3-1 win over the Blues. And you know what? I'll take that. It's a big time performance. It's a big time result, more specifically. Enzo Maresca, you've been dealt with, especially in that first half. We were 3-0 up and we were cruising. We gave the ball away. We ended up conceding a silly goal. Lamens could have done better, conceding his third goal in the season. But you know what? We got minutes in the legs of Luke Shaw. Very impressive. Sesko got himself a goal. Even more impressive. And we are doing very well at the moment. Now it's on to Brentford. Alrighty, so a few of our youth players, they've had a few positions changed. I've obviously gone and done that myself as I was assessing what the youth ranks had for me. And you know what, there are some very good youngsters in here that I could potentially see in the first team at some point in this career mode, if things pan out correctly, if they're not too hasty with their overall development. I don't mind giving the youth players some opportunities. I'm going to have that Sir Alex Ferguson touch. Pause. That sounds so weird. No, I'm going to have that ability to integrate young players into the first team, give them minutes. The only thing I do wish that EA had actually implemented into the FC26 that I am kind of salty that they haven't, was the ability to have a youth player come from the youth academy into the first team, play a game, maybe 2, 3, 4 games, and then go back to the youth academy. Because what is this BS of having a youth player join us for maybe a Carabao Cup game? That would be great, and then he sits on the bench in the reserves the entire time. I don't see the point in that. He should be able to get put back into the youth academy. So maybe in the future, maybe it's too difficult for the coding, I don't know. This guy, Austin Young, by the way, he's got a very good potential. 69 to 89, very nice. Pretty sure it's this kid. But he could be something very special for us if he continues to develop, to grow his game, to carry on doing what he's doing in the youth academy. I've heard good things about him. The coaches from the youth academy, they've been saying he's one to watch out for. So watch out in this career mode, guys. Now, in terms of the first team squad, there have been a few players that have leveled up in terms of their aerial plus, in terms of their play styles and traits and all that good stuff. Sesko being one of them, he's now officially got a plus next to his name, and he's now gone up to an 81 overall. All those goals in the beginning of the season have definitely improved his confidence, his positioning, his overall intensity of the game, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving using Benjamin Sesko, the Slovenian bazooka, because he absolutely destroys every defense that he's gone up against, at least to this point so far in this career mode. So, Brentford, have they got anything special in store for us? It still looks like a very similar lineup. Collins and Vandenberg at the back. What happened to their goal? Why is Kelleher not start? I do think Kelleher will start. I think. I'm pretty sure that this is the starting 11 that we faced in the Carabao Cup, and there will be a few changes. If there's not changes, fire Keith Andrews immediately. But again, the attack is going to really stem from those wide areas. Dango? I thought it was Dango Otara, not Otara. I don't know. What is that? Okay, anyway. Dango Otara is going to be one of their key attackers from that wide right, and Schade from the wide left, with Collins and Vandenberg through the middle being the defensive anchors of the back line. I am not going to change too much with my tactics because I'm quite happy and quite confident that we can get the job done. Alrighty, we're going to London. We're traveling south to the G-Tech, where in real life, at the time of recording this, Man United have just lost 3-1, and life is not looking good for us. But in this career mode, It's brilliant. We're first versus 14th. The GTech Community Stadium is going to be rocking from here to high heaven, and Sesko is going to bang a few goals for us. And also, we don't have to play with the terrible yellow socks and yellow shorts versus Brentford. We can quite happily just play in a black kit, and the players can differentiate who's who and what's what and how's how. There we go. Beautiful ball. Sesko drops off the back line. Oh, no! Flip. Otara, he's looking to get past Dorgu. Oh, he pulls it back. He's found himself some space in the box. But look who's there. Lenny Yoro. But in this game, we have Casemiro, though. Mbuemo, chip over the top. Sesko, he's got the ball still. Oh, he went with the outside of his foot. Please, EA, patch that. There's no reason the striker who's right-footed goes with the outside of his right foot whilst it's on his dominant side and tries to trivela it into the corner. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm not even holding any buttons. I just push shoot there, and all I expected him to do was put his laces through it and find the bottom corner. And of course, they're going to want to try and prove themselves because they were slapped up versus us at Old Trafford quite literally like a week or two ago, and they're definitely going to be wanting to try and prove themselves. And there's no flipping way. There's no way. You're not smashing one into the roof of the nets this time, mate. He's found Dorgu. Dorgu's looking for that central run. Oh my goodness me. It's another assist for Dorgu in that little inverted corridor roll. He's found Sesko yet again. That was a lovely little bit of switch of play there. We went out wide, we put it back inside, and we found a killer through ball straight into our striker. And Kelleher at 6s and 7s. Look at this. Great ball. First time. Little touch. Bang, bang, and bang. Sesko. Well, he's planted. Oh, that's beautiful. That is lovely stuff. That is incredible. I mean, Sesko did get his first goal versus Brentford. That's always a positive. But in this timeline, he's got his 7th goal in 6 games, and he's looking scintillating. We go again into Mbuemo. Mbuemo's gotten past this man here, and he laces it past Queven Kelleher, and that will be goal number 2 of the day and his 5th goal on the season. Mbuemo's tracked back beautifully. He's blocked shot. I don't know why Mbuemo's tracked back so far, but he's blocked shot there, and that was just great. Little ball into Cunha. He's telling Sesko to make that run. He's looking for the little chip pass. Oh my goodness me. Sesko's forced an incredible save out of Queven Kelleher there. Absolutely insane. Okay. We're going to call it short here. But I lied. We're going along with it. Delict was there, but so was Sharda. Sharda gets the ball first. Not too bad, not too shabby. There's been a few things that we need to change and sort out, but nothing really tactical I can really say that we have to improve on. I think the tactics have been good. I think Brentford have been okay. And yeah, more of it in the second half, please. If stats speak, they are shouting and screaming right now. We have 61% possession to their 39. Of course, we do know that Brentford do like to concede the ball, retreat into their box, and then look to try and counter, which we've done a very good job at nullifying their long balls, nullifying any potential counterattacks. We've pressed them nice and high. We've been assertive. They've only had 32 passes. We've had 76. We've had more than double. The pass accuracy is a bit different. They've had 90% accuracy. We've only had 86. But we've put in more tackles. We've been more physical. We've been out physicaling. That's not even a real thing. But we've been dominating Brentford, which is unspoken, especially at the GTech. They got slapped up at Old Trafford 2 weeks ago. We came to their hometown. We came to their home stadium. And we said, we're going to do the same again, but we're going to play even better. Because why? This is actually the first team that we're playing. And we're doing it. Look at that. I have a plan. I have a style of play. It's all working out. We're playing beautiful football. We're scoring loads of goals. The fans are happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. Oh my goodness me. I'm not happy anymore. I'm not happy anymore. Oh my god. I'm happy again. We great defensive block. Great defensive block. That was straight off of kickoff too. They've obviously got their kickoff. I want to say glitch, but we all know that even last season under Thomas Frank, Brentford were able to score a few really quick goals from kickoff. They did tend to work things very well, and fair enough. Fair play to them. Fair play to them. Mbuemo, ball over the top. Sesko! Oh my goodness me! If he had connected even better with that and just steered it into the past the goalkeeper. That would have been amazing. Into Cunha. Oh my goodness me. And Queven Kelleher in the second half. He's had to come up massive with gloves of steel here. Blocking shots, blocking attempts. Left, right and center. We're going to go with a little bit of a... Yep, post one. Oh, glancing header, glancing effort. We have definitely been on it in the second half. We have definitely been better. Kelleher thought it was going in. I thought it was going in. Everybody thought it was going in. Dorgu, he's made a little run. He's looking to chip it. Sesko with a header. Oh my goodness. Dorgu and Sesko, by the way, that combination play, that's his third assist for a third Sesko goal, literally in this episode. Can we just address that quickly? Like this connection here is brilliant. Sesko putting his head in a dangerous area. That could be a red card too. It wouldn't be the first time Collins wouldn't have gotten a red card versus Man United after committing a heinous foul in the box. But nonetheless, this results in a goal and not a penalty and a missed Bruno Fernandes pen. This results in a goal, a fantastic bit of movement and work rate from the Slovenian as well as the Danish fullback, getting forward, attacking the spaces, doing his thing. Lovely. And that's going to roll out of play. We are going to make some changes. Okay, I'm going to be changing a whole lot of players here. Mason Mount's going to come in for Casemiro. Cunha's going to come out for... Actually, no, Cunha's going to stay in. Mbeumo's going to come out for Ahmad. And we've got Ugarte coming on for Mainu, with Bruno dropping into that deeper position. And then we've got one more sub to make. And I'm thinking... No, I'm not being stupid here. I'm bringing on Dallo. That's great. We're going to obviously change a few things here because Ugarte cannot play as a playmaker. And Bruno is going to play as the roaming deep line playmaker. That's great. And as for Mazraoui, we're gonna relieve the handbrake a little bit. We are going to do that. Cunha is going to swap to an inside forward, which is great, and he's also going to be set to attack. And as for Xerxes, we all know that little false nine, but it's going to be on build-up. We're going to have the two wide players getting into those half spaces, into those central zones, and Xerxes is obviously going to drop out and vacate those areas on the pitch. Oh my goodness me. Look at that, immediately. Ahmad! Oh! Well, there you have it. A solid 3-0 win. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too shabby. The subs didn't really make that much of an impact. They didn't have that much time to make an impact. They had around 11 or so minutes. Wasn't too bad, though, when they did come on. However, the damage was largely done by the starters. Sesko and Dorgu. That connection is brilliant. I'm so happy with that connection. 2 goals for Sesko in a big game versus Brentford. Normally, IRL, we tend to lose versus Brentford at the G-Tech. In this situation, we battered them. But what a way to end off the episode. Please smash that like button, people. That would be great. Okay, so I have added 3 players onto the shortlist. Terats, Abde, as well as Solis, a young 20-year-old South American CDM. I do think that he's got a load of potential. He's got some good play styles and traits and all that good stuff. Intercept and block being 2 of them. He could be, you know, a mini Caicedo, I think. He could be if we have time to develop him, of course. So maybe we look at him in January. He could be a very good, cheap signing that we could look to make. I'm not trying to sign too many players in January, by the way, just so you all know. I would like to make 1 signing, maybe 2 at most, and I am looking to try and target the central midfield area. As for Abde, a good left midfielder that could come in, maybe back up the likes of Cunha, potentially. He fits in alongside Swedberg, Moore, and Mbangula. And then the last one is Terrat, a good, high-quality central midfielder. No play styles, unfortunately, but he does have a high potential. And he is currently out on loan at the moment. So he wouldn't be a January signing. He would be more so a summer signing. So we'd have to see how that goes. But I am looking to bring in some good technical players. So again, let me know your thoughts down below on the episode. Let me know your thoughts down below on potential players that you would like me to try and sign. I am going to add all of those to the list. Of course, episode 1 at the time of recording this has not gone out yet. So I do hope it is a banger for you guys. Anyways. Until the next time, until the next one, until the next career mode video, until the next tactics video, or whichever one you want, I hope you guys have a smashing goddamn day. I'm out of here. Peace!